500 Doors, your real estate podcast, speaking with industry experts in real estate buying, selling, planning, developing, wholesaling, investing, financing, management. If it's real estate, we're talking about it. I'm your host, Kim Hayden, an award-winning 6- and 7-figure real estate agent with over 2 decades of experience. Understanding real estate is a dream for many, that we, real estate professionals, have the ability to bring that dream to reality while building better communities and being the change we want to see. Welcome to 500 Doors, the real estate podcast. I'm Kim Hayden, your host here. And this is where we talk about social responsibility in real estate, obtainable and sustainable strategies that serve our community and clients alike. Our goal in this show is to spotlight industry experts in real estate buying, selling, planning, developing, investing, management, and, all these incredible new opportunities that are coming at us right now. So our guest today is a local Calgarian. So she is in the market with me. I'm super excited to have here because she is a true rising star in real estate. And, these are the women that we need to be talking to find out what is the strategies behind how they're building a better business. So born and raised a Calgarian, Baljit operates a business as a realtor in the Calgary area. Seeing a need for authenticity, honesty, and trust, Baljit chose to represent people in their real estate needs. As the owner of Joshi Co, she has put together a company whose primary mission is to educate and help clients to make them feel secure, supported, and be confident in their decisions. Combining her art and marketing background, she takes traditional and digital marketing techniques to turn the experience of selling a home into a science. Her core value is to continuously grow and educate herself. This has been shown through the recognition by the Calgary Herald as a top producing agent. She is a seller specialist and negotiation expert and UofC science alumni. Through discipline and perseverance, Baljit was a Miss Universe Canada Delegate in 2013 and then started her teaching journey in yoga. Her platform for mental health bridged the gap in between community and awareness. Baljit's ultimate goal is to help clients, fellow agents, and her community in any way she can. So this will be a great conversation. Good morning, Baljit. How are you today?
Good morning, Kim. I'm great. How are you?
I am doing good. So, wow, that's quite the bio. Miss Universe Delegate. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
They only take how many people every year? And there's how many
Yeah,
people in
only
Canada?
in Canada, it's I can't even remember. I think less than 50, I believe.
Wow, wow.
Yes.
And that's cool because that shows that you're always working to stay out in a competition, right? That next level up.
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
take us a little bit through who you are.
So I'm, of course, you know my bio now. That basically told you everything about me. But I'm a mother of a 3-year-old and a wife to my lovely husband. And we've been working together on our businesses for the last, I want to say, over 5 years now. So we are just trying to bridge the gap between the community and helping people by educating them in real estate and finance so they have the right education and they're able to make the right decisions for themselves.
Excellent. And do you have siblings? Like
Yes.
so, and were you always the one that stepped in there and said, I'll help, or, let me show you how, or wait, you're doing it wrong? Because I was that one, right?
I have a younger sister, and growing up, she always used to call me her second mom or third parent, of course. I always used to just have her back, pour wisdom into her whenever I needed to. So, I mean, yeah, she was my
I,
younger sister. But growing up, I had a few older cousins surrounding me. So it was a little bit different in that sense. But for the most part, yeah, our family dynamic is just the four of us.
Yeah, well, but it's interesting. Older sibling, I find that that's usually the leadership space, right?
Mhm.
Let me show you how to do it and do it the right way. So let's go into a little bit of what you do. So you're a real estate agent here in Calgary, Alberta,
Mhm.
but you have multiple designations. Can you walk us through what you do?
That's a good question. I don't even know what I do. Kim, honestly, I can't even tell you. I wear all the hats. So
That is the best answer I think I've ever had on the show because that's a very real answer. Let's talk about that. That's a very real answer. When real estate agents are asked what they do, we all go, well, everything. How do we break that down? Because it's such a multifaceted business. So let's tackle the tech side of things. And because that's a lot of where people want to know, how do they run their social media? How do they run their lead generation? Like, talk a little bit about where you have invested into that side of your business.
for sure. So for social media, I've invested in specific coaching for real estate, social media. So I know exactly how to reach more people effectively, and it actually works, where it's not I'm just posting on my Facebook page and here I am, right? Only organically a handful of people are going to see that. So really, investing in the right tools and the right coach will help you take you to the next level. And as for lead gen, you got to have multiple streams, right? It's not just one. It's not just focusing on your friends and family, not just like cold calls, right? You got to have a mix of everything because you don't know, for most agents, it's where's my next deal coming from, right? And you're on that
Mhm.
hamster wheel and freaking out all the time. So
Yep.
when you have more of, let's say, if you network and build more connections, it really does help in building several streams of lead gen.
Well, and it said that, and it's funny because it said that you need 7 streams of revenue, 7 streams of income in order to build personal wealth or to retire. And I think there was actually a book out around this. And it's funny how so many real estate agents put all their eggs into one basket. So they give Zillow 4, 5, 6, $7,000 a month, and they do nothing else. Or they do the dial for dollars and they do nothing else. So I mean, it sounds as if you're doing kind of all the different things across in order to hit all the markets. It's got to be exhausting. I mean, that sounds like quite the week that you put in. But can you give us what that effort is starting to produce for you? Like, where are you year
Yeah.
over year and what's happening? What is the evolution of your business?
Well, it's exponential growth because you keep pouring into your business and have that as your focus. I think the biggest thing is to really plan out your year ahead of time to really know what that looks like. So you're able to put those things in action. So always having a review every single month, I'd say, right? Just kind of where am I at? Where do I need to go to be able to build a six-figure business?
Well, and a lot of real estate agents were notorious for shiny object syndrome. Um, what are some of the strategies that you put in place to stay on track? I think that's probably the biggest challenge. So
Yeah.
the things that I hear regularly are leads, consistency, and social media are the 3 top complaints within real estate. So
Yes.
leads, you mentioned, come from multiple, but consistency. What are some of the ways that you stay on track and don't get distracted by that shiny object syndrome?
Well, first of all, it's scheduling. So even having a morning routine in the morning kind of grounds you for the day, right? So typically what mine looks like is I meditate in the morning. I journal first thing in the morning just to get, everything that's in my system out, and practice gratitude. So once you practice gratitude, it's like a magnet that kind of pulls you into that realm to start attracting everything else around you that you need for that day, for that week, month, and year. It's very, very powerful. And then the night before, if you take 30 minutes just to schedule out what does my next day look like? What does my whole week look like? And do I need to communicate with my spouse? Do I need to, what are the things I need to do to be able to be successful for that week, for that day? And I think those things are really, really powerful to be able to propel me into, where I am today.
Scheduling, it's interesting. Almost every person I have spoken to that is operating at next level talks about meditation and gratitude and things like, that kind of whole mindset. Um, when so let I want to talk about like the gratitude and communication. You work with your partners, so this is like, you know it can be a compounded effect for many people.
Yes.
So communication, let's talk communication. How do you navigate a busy life, being a mom and working with your partner, and still being able to show up for clients without kind of any, I don't know, that hangover effect we almost get from all the other things that we do in our life. Sometimes we'll show up and we're already tired before we started talking to people. How do you
Yes.
navigate all of that? Tell me about kind of those unique tools within your communication box that work for you to keep everything on track.
Well, it's a hit and miss. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I have to say, so far, this is awesome because the only other podcast I had this gal one time. I said, "Give me your quote," and this is a banker, super. She goes, "It's all a great plan until you get hit in the head." And I'm
Yeah.
going, okay, I never had that quote. So you're awesome. So I love the authenticity that is in your bio. So communication. How do you keep
Yes.
one from bleeding over into the other and keeping everything moving forward?
Yeah. So really, besides it being a total hit and miss, it's really understanding who you're in bed with, right? So he's my spouse. He's also my business partner, but really understanding where his strengths lie, where my strengths lie, and where, I need to maybe follow up with him a little bit more than he needs to for me. Just knowing where we are really, really helps in terms of leveraging each other for the right thing for the right reason. So, say if we're doing a meeting together, for example, like I know when I need to pitch in and I know when he needs to stop. you know? So,
No pun intended. There's no
yeah.
story there, folks. No story there. But yeah, no, it's being able to read the other people. And do you
hmm
find that being able to read, is there any kind of courses, classes, anything that you've read that has helped you in understanding and reading kind of, how to gauge where people are at?
There's a few things. So I have never taken a course on it or anything like that. But what I would say is really trusting your gut instinct is the first thing. The second thing is reading the book by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So that one is incredible because you just learn a little bit more. And it's just said in such a way where you're just like, oh, that totally makes sense. Right. So I've listened to that when I first started my business on repeat in my car. So really, when I started business, I knew nothing. I can't say nothing about business, but I wasn't at the level I was at obviously today. So what do? You have all these audiobooks and amazing motivational speeches just playing continuously in your car. And all of a sudden, your brain just starts to become rewired. And with that rewiring, you just start to implement the things that will get you to the level you want to get to.
And it's investing. Sorry, it's investing. It's putting time
hmm
into yourself. And that's the beauty of like podcasts and books online and such. Is you don't have to give it 100% attention. It can just be playing in the background.
Yeah.
What are the top three, if you were to give advice to a brand new real estate agent, what would be the top three strategies, tips, or insights you'd offer them?
I would say, first of all, is definitely invest in yourself. So read the books that I read when I first started, which I named one of them already. The other one, I'd say The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, because it is so powerful. Just understanding what you do on like every single day, each day, how that compounds over time and how you could either veer this way or this way based on your decisions. And then the next thing would be to network. So really pour into meeting new people and understanding people and really taking the time to listen. Because if you put them before yourself and you are listening to them, that's how you're going to build more rapport. And then the other thing I would say is um, start with a corporation. So go balls to the walls, both feet in, like make it decide, right? To decide is to cut off and eliminate all other decisions. So you're making a decision to put all feet in and just go 100%. That's what I would say.
And it's interesting you brought that up because I was talking to a gentleman about he's in finance, and he was talking, do most agents do this? And I said, I think it's a 50-50 shot. And I know that a lot of agents, they muddy the waters between their personal finance and their business finance, and can get caught, right? In the sense that, you know, taxes, or, something comes out of the left field, and uh, it's putting yourself at jeopardy. But that's called burning the boats, eh? That's what you're talking about.
Yes,
Burn the boats, right? You hit that
totally.
shore, you burn the boats, you can't go backwards. I want to delve a little bit into networking, because you
Hmm.
said educate yourself, go all in, and network. Those are the three things. So let's talk a little bit about networking. Where do you network? How do you network? How do you find the opportunities to network?
I think in this day and age, it's easier than you think it is because we have things like Eventbrite, right? Where you can see what kind of networking events are out there. The commerce of business always has something going on, right? So it's just really connecting with a few people there. And once you start talking to people and say, hey, where else do you network? Where else do you go? It's just a snowball effect. And then you start to meet one person, the next person, then you see, the repeat group all over again. You're just like, oh, everyone's at everywhere, right? But when you first start out, you want to be in those spaces where everybody else is to really connect and build that community within business networks, I think is really powerful. So for a short while, I was part of BNI, and BNI was amazing because it really pushes you in that headspace where you're always thinking about the other person and how can I add value to them. So I think that's very powerful when you're networking and just keeping that in mind.
Yeah, BNI is global, so it's
Hmm.
a great option for people. Um, the They say your net worth is in your network, and
Yes.
I absolutely believe that. I mean, otherwise nobody would pay to go to Harvard if it wasn't for the alumni group, right? You go to
Hmm.
Harvard, so you have that next level up, so you have that advantage, and you can get just as good an education from, a Kansas university as you can a Harvard, Harvard University. It's the network, right? You go to school
Yeah.
and you go to school with all the politicians, and all the,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah,
um
there's a reason why that's, a higher tier for sure.
Absolutely. Well, and then so we go into community, so that leads me into community. First, I'd
Hmm.
like to ask you, what does community mean to you, and why?
So, community is really a space where we all connect with each other, right? Whether that's in your actual physical location where you are, or, the group of people that you're around, whether it's religious or spiritual. That type of community is just you're sharing mindset, you're sharing values with each other, and you're helping each other to raise each other up to the highest level that you possibly can within ourselves.
And how does community play into your business?
Well, I do my very best to pour into my community, that's for sure, the community that I live in. So I try to provide value the best I can and show up for people because everyone's going through something. I think it's always just being having a bit more empathy, right? Understanding
Yeah.
what kind of situation we're in. Like for example, when we were in the pandemic, just knowing that we're all kind of in a space where we don't know what's going on. It's chaotic and stressful and anxious. So the next summer, I had put on just a food truck event, just bringing people together and just reconnecting with everyone, because I just really didn't have that opportunity to do so before. And I just felt like the community really needed it.
Absolutely. So leaning into community because, and like
Hmm.
you said, all the difference. So seven, when they talk about seven streams of revenue, that's actually seven different communities, right? So that you got your online community, you have your physical
Yes.
community and such. Um,
Hmm.
Talk about the books. So we've already covered a couple books. What are some other books that you read when you started real estate that really helped you?
Yeah, when I started real estate, so I talked about the compound effect, and the other one I'd say is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That one
Yeah.
I'd say is easier to listen to than read. It's definitely a harder read, but it is an incredible read. So I have like my special edition book of that my husband got me, which is really cool. But those three, I'd say for business, are huge on my list. But for other books, I'd recommend like Pouring into Yourself and for self awareness. So I would recommend You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. The other one is Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown. And the other one would be The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins.
Oh, I love Mel Robbins. I love
Yeah.
Mel Robbins. I like almost to the stalker level. I love Mel Robbins. So, yeah, I know. I know it's like everybody needs one of those, right? Um
Absolutely.
s- Going into the new year, what are some of the shifts that you're going to be doing? Because we know that technology is changing, trends are changing, the interest rates are changing. We still have a shortage of housing. There's so much going on. What are a couple things that you're doing or implementing in 2023 that you believe are going to help build your business?
Well, I think the first thing is just keeping more in touch with your contacts and having those conversations around what's really happening, because it can be skewed so much of the time by the media and other people's opinions, right? The last thing you want to do is listen to your friend who, is driving a truck 90% of the time and has some sort of interest in potentially buying some real estate down the road, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah, the
you
armchair experts.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So you really want to be focused in on connecting with people, I'd say. And I'm going to be putting out more informational videos so I can reach more people at the same time.
What are some of the tools that you use for video delivery? Because I know that with National Association of Realtors says 67% of all real estate agents are female, and the average age of a realtor is 52. So, with a lot, video is not going to be intuitive. So, can you share
Right.
a couple tips around video?
Yeah, definitely. It's honestly, I'd say it's easier than it looks, because when you're finally in front of the lens, you're like, oh God, I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look and all of this. But it's just really pushing through that. The more you do it, the better it becomes. So I just use my phone, honestly. So if you use your phone and you can just hit record on that thing, you have one ring light, you're in front of a big window, you have a nice backdrop, or even use a green screen, and really, those are the things that you need. And boom, you got a video. You
And
can
then
make it as simple as possible to get it done. Otherwise, you're going to wrap your brain around it like 10 times over and you're just never going to do it.
okay, TikTok, yay or nay?
You know what? I'm working my way through that one. So I don't have an answer for that yet.
Oh, yes. I mean, there's always something, always something. My kids, I just got invited into Discord for a chat room, and I'm going, what's Discord? And my kids are like, oh my God, mom, it's been around for like a decade. And it's like, well, I didn't know about it. And then every time, it's funny how your children make you feel like your mother. Um,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So share with us how people can connect with you. Do you have a newsletter? Do you have anything that if they're wanting some insight information as to real estate? Just share away. Tell us where we can find you.
For sure. So you can find me on my Facebook page, which is joshico.official. So you can find me there as well as Instagram. So I'm more active on Facebook. I have more blogs that I post there, videos, and upcoming events that I do. And you can also sign up for my newsletter. So there is a link to that in my Facebook as well. If you find one of my previous newsletters, you can just click the link to subscribe to find out what's happening on a regular basis every month, different events, different properties, and real estate news.
Yeah, bringing the community back to real estate. And I think it's what we're seeing right now. There's so many shifts and trends. I think having people like yourself as a that pillar within the real estate community is going to be really critical for people to not feel overwhelmed, for people to feel like there is a clear and concise direction that they can go
Yes,
and people they can trust.
for
So
sure.
share with us a quote. What kind of quote inspires you?
You know, the one from my mom sticks with me a lot. And when I was younger, she always used to tell me that anything is possible in this world if you just stick to it. So I was like, okay, mom, I trust you. So when I made the shift into real estate, and I did so many different things before that, and it was really that space where I was just finding myself, finding what to do. And when I just got my real estate license and I was put in a situation where I got laid off from my job that I was at, and I was like, okay, this is a sign from the universe. I got to just go all in, and I got to trust that this is going to work, because anything is possible if you put your mind to it.
I could not agree more on that. It's I mean, take a look at some of our top leaders out there, like, people who inspire us daily. And I think that's a really great thought to close the show out, is knowing that today anything is possible if you put your mind to it. It's really important that you show up, you continue your education journey, get
Mm-hmm.
outside of your comfort zone. Who cares what your voice is or if your hair is perfect or not? Do the
Mm-hmm.
videos. Um, and, if you have any questions around real estate, or if you're thinking of becoming a real estate agent, or you're just trying to figure out how to get those things like really moving forward, lean into the community here. We have so many amazing leaders within this podcast and in this community, like Baljit. It's here for you. You've got it. You've got it. We are the, what is that? Real estate's a dream for many, and we are the stewards of the dream. So we have
Mm-hmm.
that. We're an essential service according to the global pandemic. So you know what? Go out there and make those things happen, folks. I know. I love that. That was like, ooh, I'm an essential. I'm like the EMT now. That's awesome. So,
Right. It's like, okay, then I guess
yep.
housing is really, really important. Well, it is,
It
but
is.
yeah.
Food, shelter, education,
Yep.
medication. So make it work, folks. Make it work. Anything else, Beljeet? Any kind of words of wisdom? Anything else you have?
Yeah, I wanted to touch a little bit on self awareness and really understanding yourself, because I think that is the key to everything in life. It's not just real estate, it's not just business, but just overall, just being a better human. And when you take the time to pour into yourself, and like the three recommendations that I gave for the books, that really helps, because we all have past trauma. We all have things that we've been through. But I think if we just focus on each day pouring into ourselves, then we can pour into others a little bit more and just be that much greater.
Absolutely. So, what is that? Oxygen mask first, or fill your cup so you can fill others.
Yeah.
Um, You know what, folks? Go out there, check out Belgique, get on her Facebook group, and see what she's doing. Because where there's success, there are clues to that success, and that's what we want for you. So, again, this is 500 Doors, the real estate podcast. I'm your host, Kim Hayden. And you know what? Go over and check out Baljeet's Facebook group. And then while you're there on Facebook, go over to the Real Estate Success with 500 Doors and join us there. Until next time, be good to yourself.
Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you for joining us at the 500 Doors, Your Real Estate Podcast. Be sure to join our Facebook group at Real Estate Success with 500 Doors. Keep on watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, because we all know sharing is caring.